Hi there, it's Kaisa here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to talk to you about how your thoughts create your reality and how you can consciously create your reality. So let's get right into it. As you might have noticed, I've been away from YouTube for quite a long time, but now I'm back and hopefully I'll stay here for a longer time. But let me tell you why I was away, and hopefully this will work as an example how thoughts create reality. When I was filming YouTube videos before, there was a lot of resistance building. A resistance was all those thoughts, all those negative feelings, perfectionism, all that kind of stuff. I was thinking that, I'm not good enough, I cannot make videos, my videos are bad, I need to edit them for hours. I was literally editing some videos for 2 hours, and that became so exhausting. I just burned out and couldn't continue it. I started feeling like, this thing is not for me. I was so convinced that I am not good at speaking. I cannot make videos. I cannot teach people or give them a presentation about something. But then I realized the way I was making videos was not the best way I could do. Because when I was planning my videos, I came up with a title first, or the topic that I want to talk about. Let's say how to manifest a text message. Let's say that was my topic. And then right away when I got the idea in my mind that I'm gonna talk about this, a speech started running in my mind. It was like I almost could have, if I had hit the record button at that moment, making the video would have been so effortless. Like the flow of thoughts in my mind when I had just created the title and the idea that I'm going to talk about, it was wonderful. But what happened to me actually was that I went through the speech in my mind. Maybe I wrote a few notes on the paper, and then I set up my camera and everything and started speaking. And it was I'm trying to speak something, I'm quiet, I'm opening my mouth but nothing is coming out, and I was so convinced that I cannot do this. But later I started thinking about it, that why on earth, when I create an idea, I come up with an idea, I had this speech in my mind, and if I only recorded that would be the video and that's it. I would be fine with it. It would be good enough for me. So I noticed that there is nothing wrong with me. I'm fine, I'm good enough, I can speak. I make mistakes, so what, other people do them too, and that's kind of funny. Too perfect is not good, people don't enjoy it. So if I have this capability, I have this flow state, I would call it a flow state, when I get an idea and the thought process just goes in my mind, almost like a full video is playing in my mind. I had this ability, I had this idea, but for some reason I just cannot do it in front of camera, and that was the problem. And it made me believe that this is not for me. And I was so convinced with that story. Told myself I cannot speak, I cannot make videos, it's useless for me to make those videos, and I'm too tired, I cannot edit for 2 hours straight, that's not for me, that's not my purpose, I don't enjoy it that much. And I took quite a long break from YouTube. I was I gave up on it. I was, like I said before, so convinced that it's not for me. But some time ago, this, this feeling, maybe I could try it again. But then it reminded me of that previous story. I cannot do it. But then I started thinking about it and figured out this resistance that was keeping me away from doing it. This story that just isn't true. So when you notice this resistance in yourself, and what is resistance? It's like that feeling like something is not right, like you're doing something and it just doesn't work out. Maybe you feel frustrated, angry, tired, or something is not right. You feel the resistance. Don't start telling that, this thing is not for me, because that may not be true. Figure out what's going on in your mind, all those stories. What do you tell yourself? Ask that resistance, what it is all about. Because that way you can get to the root of it and you can release it. You don't need to go with your old stories. I'm not good enough, I cannot do this. You can do anything you want. At least try this before being this thing is not for me. For me, many times it happens that I start doing something, let's say making videos or making music, something creative, and I get so excited. I do it so much, and slowly and steadily in the background of my mind, this old story, this resistance keeps building up, perfectionism, I'm thinking I'm not good enough. And guess what that does? Let's say I have this flow, this creativity, it's just floating. I'm doing stuff, it's so much fun. Then this resistance comes from here and boom, it just stops the flow. And when there is no flow, it's going to be so hard, it feels like you're going to, you're pushing towards a wall. And if you feel like you're pushing and there is a wall and you just cannot go further, that's resistance right there. And if you're just gonna keep pushing and you are not conscious of what is going on, you are not going to enjoy what you're doing. But don't tell yourself the story that you can't do it, because you can do it. Maybe there is some things you're not meant to do. Maybe you start a hobby and you don't enjoy it. That's a little bit different thing. Even I've had those things where I kind of I started doing them, I was excited, but then I didn't continue them because they were not for me. Well, what is the difference between those things? Your story or your reality? You're not meant to do it. For me, the difference is that if I give up on something I was not meant to give up on, after some time I start feeling I want to try again. That is the indication for me that there is some unfinished business. With these videos, there was this resistance that was unconscious, that was hiding there. But when I noticed that it's just a story, it's not true, it's only here in my mind, I have the ability, I have the flow state in me, but for some reason I was not able to access it while the camera was running and I was in front of it, just opening my mouth and nothing was coming out until I burned out. So it was just this story that I was telling myself, I can't do it. And then I was demanding myself, I need to do it in a certain way. But when I let go all of those stories, all of those stupid, useless demands that the perfectionist side in me was telling me, it started flowing. I let the energy flow, the resistance just it was released. like so easily. So this is very strong evidence for me that my thoughts do indeed create. And then I can use this evidence when I'm manifesting something. So now we can get to the other side of this video, like, consciously creating your reality. Like now we already know that our thoughts create our reality. And we have a lot of thoughts every single day, and we are not like conscious of all of them. And especially those, those bad thoughts, let's say like, this is not for me, like I cannot do this. They sneak in. And if you are not aware of them, they just build up, and soon you just like, you fall down because of them. So awareness is the key. If there is resistance, like figure it out what it is about. Because there is another side to this. Let's say like I mentioned before about like that pushing. Like there is this wall and you're just trying to push. You're trying to make it happen no matter what. I said that eventually you are going to get exhausted, overwhelmed, like you cannot continue that for long. So I was actually doing that before I stopped making those YouTube videos. Like I was trying so hard. I was trying more and more every time. Even if at that moment I had told myself like, I can do it. Or like, I'm doing it, I've done it for a few weeks, I can do it. Or like, I'm fine, like these videos don't need to be perfect. Even if I tried to tell myself those things, it didn't work. And the problem why that doesn't work, let me tell you another example. If you are manifesting, you're manifesting your specific person back. Like they left you and you're trying to get them back. So if you are having this, let's say this fear and trauma within yourself, unconsciously, this story, like they are gonna leave me. And then you're trying so hard, like trying to push that like new self image into your mind, like I'm lovable, like my specific person loves me, they cannot resist me, all that kind of stuff. But as long as that thought in the core, like I'm not good enough, they're gonna leave me, I cannot make YouTube videos, I'm not good enough. As long as that story is like, it is in the unconscious mind, you are not aware of it, it's not in your awareness, as long as you don't know that it actually exists, you cannot fix it. So that is the beauty of, first of all, realizing that yes, my thoughts do create my reality. And how you can actually like turn your boat and start manifesting the kind of things you want. You can start manifesting consciously. You can create the kind of stories you want. So I hope you got something out of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also hit that bell to be notified when I release my videos. And thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.